Welcome to the Big Week in Gaming podcast on demand. And what do you know? It's been a big week, year, month in gaming. I'm Intergot for this special catch-up episode on Saturday, the 13th of January, 2024, and I'm joined by Swinny.
Yes, welcome. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just two-man show this week.
Yes,
Wait, this week, this year, this month.
Yeah, this week. I like you just get straight back into it. So we should say to people that Mike is not dead. We can confirm that.
I had copy from 2 days ago.
Yes,
so.
he's not in witness protection or anything like that.
No.
And he if we do another on-demand episode, he is keen to join. He just is a bit busy. He's had a whole year to do this.
Hey, it's not like we had this scheduled in, like before, like 2 days ago or something.
Yeah, actually, when did we suggest it? It was literally just the other day, right?
It was just like, hey, you want to do a catch-up episode? I'm like, yeah, okay, why not? It's like, it's only been 12 months since our last episode.
Almost to the day.
Almost to the day.
And we should say that, we picked our timing well. I mean, it's not like it was a big year in gaming last year. It wasn't like insane 10 out of 10 games coming out left, right, and center.
And like industry changes and, it was
People
probably
getting sacked.
One of the most eventful years in gaming, and we're just like, nah, we're off. We're done. We're done.
It literally was. Like, if you think about the upheaval, and I think it's, it's obviously just past. We're just in 2024 now, right? It's the 13th of January as we speak. I do think 2023 will be right up there with 1998, 2011, like these other mega years. Like 2004, I think was another. Like, I think it's that caliber, personally.
And the industry upheaval's not stopping as well. Just like in the last couple of days, the adjacent news of like Twitch firing a whole bunch of their people and Discord as well, and it's like, I think I heard someone say it was like one of the best years ever for like the gaming product and one of the worst years ever for like the actual people who make the games.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
so it was the best of times and the worst of times.
It was. yes.
So the format of the show today, we're not going to do just the last week in gaming. I don't think there's.
No. The format. What format is what
what
the follow up should be? Like normally we used to plan out a whole run sheet with all our topics. Now we've just got like highlights and a special thing I want to quiz you on at the end, and that's it.
I think it would be fair to say that in terms of organization and effort per viewer, we would probably be the highest in any podcast out there. Previously.
I'm trying to go back to one of our older episodes and just doing like, is there like a word count, and then compare it to the word count of like the run sheet today, which is like 20 words. It was probably like 6,000 before or something ridiculous.
Mike's finally broken us down. I think Mike's always wanted it to just be like this, and he's finally got to us.
Well, the whole one of the original ideas was, that we could just do a show whenever we felt like, and part of that was, okay, do we want to do the weekly news coverage each week? Because, there's times when you're going to talk about stuff that you feel like you need to, but you're not super passionate about, and no one wants to, like, we're doing it for the passion. So yeah. I think the idea is if we do any on-demand episodes in the future, that it's like, hey, we're super into this, or there's something we really want to talk about, or hey, we want to do a part 2 of the Chemco tier list, which people still ask for, by the way. People still ask for.
Yeah, well, we definitely need to do that. When did that go up? Was that like a couple of years ago?
I don't know, but I've completed another tier list's worth of entries since then. So,
oh, really? That many extra games?
Yeah,
and then you've got others to complete, right?
Yeah, not another 36 games, but there's another like 18 games or something. So that's basically like a video in all itself if we ever want to do a sequel.
I do wonder with the YouTube algorithm, because the people who have watched it, right? YouTube, if we put another one out there, YouTube probably would be like, you definitely want to see this.
Yeah, and the thing is as well is that honestly, they've put out some pretty decent games since then as well. So
there you go. That's a bit
put out some shockers too.
Okay.
But
you still have the podcast craft, the tease, the audience tease out there.
Yes, teasing all the things that never came to fruition, like Mario Kart tier list? Anyone?
No, hey, I've always said I will do the Mario Kart tier list. I've actually been working through the Mario Karts. I need to play the VR experience. And it's
Okay.
not in Australia.
Can I ask, have you played any single new entry since last time we spoke about this Mario Kart tier list?
Yes. I played an arcade game. I never played it before.
Really? You hadn't played the Mario Kart arcade game? Isn't there two of them?
There's 3. So I know my tier list.
You know, and we've had this discussion before that to you a tier list has to include every single possible entry, even like niche things.
That's what you did with Kemco. That's what you did with Kemco. The RPGs. With the RPGs, you did.
No, the thing is, there were so many Kemco games on like mobile that and like
No,
this.
but
Like,
I don't think that counts.
But what? But like a VR Japan only game where it counts. Anyway, one day you got to do it. One day.
I think it's like a Pokemon game tier list. Has to have all the mainline Pokemon games for sure.
Yeah, but you're talking about some Japan only VR game. That's not a mainline Mario Kart.
But it like I kind of go by Wikipedia and it's listed there, dude.
Okay. You
So,
do
yeah.
you. I actually wanted to. One of my original ideas was to do not a tier list, but like a top 10. Again, another amazing original idea of Euro RPG developers. And I had that list like, I don't know, 18 months ago. I had the list of what was ready. And Larian Studios was #1 in my list 18 months ago. I was ahead of the curve.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
ahead of
that's
the
right.
curve.
Yeah, no one was interested in Larian before. That's right.
Hey, no, but the point is that, like, I mean, compared to like what happened last year,
Yeah, that's true.
I feel proud of that pick, but it was funny. It's like I felt like it had to be a top 10, even though it was more like a top 8 plus. Okay, well, I've got to make it 10 seats, 2 extras. So I should bring it up one day if we do a future episode.
The other thing I was thinking that we could do is I've seen a gap in the market. We could actually create a new series where we complete games. We just don't play them. We also complete them. Now I believe there's a gap in the market now for someone to fill this role.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's out there doing that. We could call it the clockist.
Yeah, the clockist.
We just have to be careful not to like run any charity events at the same time.
That's true. I did suggest we should do a charity event one time. I think it'd be good. I like some extreme challenges, like we have to stream for like 2 days straight or something like that. But
Anyway.
but I think one thing, like there weren't like one thing I did think, even though it was an awesome year for gaming last year, there wasn't like a game where you, Mike, and myself would be like super into playing, you know, super passionate about, weirdly enough, even though there's so many great games last year.
I did think that if we had continued to do the weekly shows all of last year, look, my gaming habits would have changed because I would have felt more inclined to, actually play Starfield or actually play like some of the other games. But it would have been a big struggle for us to do a game of the year last year.
Oh, it would have been impossible.
Yeah, because like there's definitely stuff that Mike and I lean towards that, you know, like, and you'd be like, Tears of the Kingdom, you know, my
Mario Wonder.
And speaking of Tears of the Kingdom, you obviously know this, but you know, like me being the beloved lover of Breath of the Wild, owns 2 copies and never
So
completed
bad that
it,
you've done this.
and somehow bought this on a whim. And then you know what? I found out Mike also has this.
Yes. What I think is so weird is that you and him have the collector's edition. I have just the standard edition, and I've put in like 200 hours in that game. You've put 0. Mike has put I think 0 as well, actually. It's insane.
Like, that is the most impulse purchase I've probably ever made in my life, except for, I don't know, some anime hand puppet I bought when someone pressured to me like 2 decades ago.
Hey, whoa, we're not streaming here. I can't cut this. No, but like it's interesting with Breath of the Wild versus Tears of the Kingdom and how it captured so many people. But then another game that I think neither of us will probably talk about right now, it just kind of blew it out of the water. Like so much so that, you know, we should say that we were intending to do the Game Awards, but then there's some personal stuff that happened and it meant that I couldn't do it. So we did watch it together though in person.
To react to the
Yeah.
actual Game Awards, not our own Game Awards.
And it would have been interesting because I don't think we were like quite as harsh as other people on it, like in terms of hating on the sort of, advertisement. And we did call out that they did cut people off pretty aggressively, but
yeah, it felt like, especially the fact that, when the guys from Larian came up, it felt like they were up there for 30 seconds.
it was like the time was 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Especially for like the game of the year, It's funny, the guy that wore the suit of armor, I forget his name, the head guy, but he actually then posted like the full thing that he wanted to say on Twitter, which was good. So.
It was 30 seconds, and 30 seconds is just not enough. So weirdly enough, I saw one of the things on the Golden Globes, and one of the persons actually said, "Oh, I'm getting the wrap up signal." So I actually went back to go, "How long did that person speak?" Because I'm now interested. Like, what's the timer on the Golden Globes? And it was exactly 1 minute. And it's weird. Like, by the way, Golden Globes doesn't give a shit about the Game Awards. They're not making it longer or shorter. They just set their time to whatever they think makes sense, right? But it made me think that no one complained about the Golden Globes, like, oh, people were getting cut off or anything like that. It's like, it's funny how 30 extra seconds probably would have been enough, for all of these people. And then you go, how many people even got up to accept? Like 10? So we're talking about 5 extra minutes and all the criticism that Jeff copped. So
that's right. You need a minute of Anthony Mackie like pointing at the crowd, going, "Hey,
oh god!"
hey! And like apparently he was responding to stuff that like people were saying in the crowd, but you couldn't hear it on the actual like live feed. So that's why we're like, what is he doing? What is he actually pointing at?
So people were calling out, but you couldn't hear it at all.
Apparently, that's I read that it made sense what he was doing for the people there, but we couldn't hear the people calling out. So, but even saying that, like, look, I know celebrities are important for like bringing attention, stuff like that, but Eddie, that's probably the biggest criticism I have. It would have been nice as well for them to at least acknowledge like some of the unrest in the industry as well. But I don't think that is like, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, they had to. It just would have been nice for them to at least say that. But there's other people out there really taking them to task on that as well. But to me, not giving the winners enough time was a shame. But I like the show overall. So.
Yeah, I really like the show. And, one thing that got announced in the time that we had off was E3 is dead. It's actually, and I know people are like almost celebrating it. I don't know why. Because I'm like, I liked the concentrated grouping of news. That's why I like the Game Awards as well. It's like, here's a little cluster of news that, you can get excited about. So
what I don't understand is people celebrate stuff like that for people that have no like real, it doesn't impact them at all. It doesn't impact them at all. Like it's a bit different if you've got like journalists saying that actually we're glad it's changing or whatever, because it impacted them. It impacted the way they did coverage and the travel and all that stuff like that. But when you got random people commenting, being like, "Oh, I'm glad it's dead," it's like, what did it ever do? What did it ever do?
I just liked it because it's like, I'm a big sport fan, so having like a thing, like a Super Bowl type of thing is important, I think. So like, and that's why I'm like invested in the Game Awards, because it's like, well, that's the new thing. So I'm not so fussed about them not going about what all the upheaval of the industry, but definitely when you've got like AG Ainuma on the stage and they just rush him off, like, dude, like, come on. And then, Larry and they win. They get up there and they're going, oh, dedicating to this guy that's died and getting all emotional. It's like, hurry up, like wind it up. It's like, really? And one thing I would say is I'm actually kind of shocked. Well, maybe I'm not too shocked, but I thought they would make an adjustment through the show because the feedback was pretty clear from the start. But, it's probably that it's all so dialed in that they can't really do something like that.
Yeah. I also think that, look, if there's one thing you say about Keeley and I guess the production crew behind the Game Awards and some of these events, they do actually take feedback on board and they do actually like the pacing of the shows and things like that. So I have a feeling that you'll see next year that they will at least give people more time. I have a feeling.
100%. The over and under, it will be like, I think they'd give them twice as much time. Like that's where I'm at. I think they'll be giving them a minute to speak. And the big thing for me is like I still don't like how they don't have more people presented the award. It's like indie game. Oh yeah, it's blah blah, and then they move on. It's like wait, what? Like you don't even get to receive an award. It's just you're given it. Like I think that's also a bit rough as well. So, but anyway, that's not even one of the topics. What's the format for today's show, Swinny?
So our format was we just wanted to talk about, I guess, not only what have we been up to personally from gaming standpoint over the last year, but I guess more our highlights of last year. Stuff that we enjoyed, whether or not they're new games or older games, and just things that stood out to us or like milestones and things like that. Like I've got a bit of a mix of things in my list. So I don't know. Did you want to kick off with one of your 2023 highlights?
Yeah, I mean, like, so we got 5 each. I guess the first one we were just touching on it. So it's a nice little segue is Tears of the Kingdom. So I didn't even remember when it came out. It was like,
isn't it March or something?
April, March, something like that. Now, I love Breath of the Wild. I actually 100%ed that game. Got all the Korok seeds, did everything. That game, honestly, so long ago, it was like 7 years ago, it kind of got me back into gaming and playing games and sort of, just getting involved in that whole space. So I was super amped about Tears of the Kingdom. I actually think I took a day off work from memory. Like I think I took the Friday off work. Well, I'll maybe.
Did you tell them why?
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking. I'm not sure if I put it in as annual leave or not. But maybe I had a sick day. I was sick that day. So anyway, but like all I was to say is, I had probably unrealistic expectations about it. I'm like, how the hell is this game going to live up to this amazing game that came out? It was very huge for me. And honestly, like day one, I was a bit like, I don't know. I kind of don't get it. Like, it feels like just a rejig of the first game. So that was kind of my first 5 hours or so. It's like, okay, yeah, it's cool. And I love the story and how it's all playing out, but I just didn't quite get it. But that game, and it's like really kind of almost a pure Nintendo game in a way. The gameplay of it is so freaking amazing. Like, it's so crazy to go. The game has got what, like 96 or something on Metacritic or 95 or something. And I almost think it's underrated now, this game, because of the year it came out. All the other games that are sort of like Baldur's Gate 3 and Alan Wake 2 and all this other stuff that's happened this year. And it's coming from the shadows of Breath of the Wild as well. It's almost like I really do think this game is going to go down as being underrated. And then I think it's going to have this weird thing of in, 10 years time, 20 years time, people going, is it maybe the best game ever? Like that's genuinely what I think. Because it's so freaking amazing, the gameplay mechanics of it. The biggest criticism I have of the game is that, Breath of the Wild for me had so much innovation and it was like new sort of setting for Zelda, open world, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't surpass it in that way, obviously, right? Like in terms of just pure like setting, like new things. But I would say that pretty much everything you can go through, story, to me, Tears of the Kingdom shits all over it. Dungeons, Tears of the Kingdom shits all over Breath of the Wild. Like gameplay mechanics, like the first game, Breath of the Wild, was amazing. Like some of the stuff you could do in it, the abilities and things like that. Then this game is just like, hey, that nuts and bolts game that Rare tried to make? Why don't we try to make that but good? Right?
Hey, nuts and bolts was good, but wait, yeah. I'm not saying it's Tears of the Kingdom good, but nuts and bolts was very overlooked.
Like, I am someone who, like, I studied programming. I understand programming, right? That's what I did from when I was a kid. I played Tears of the Kingdom. I'm like, how are they getting this to work on a 7-year-old Android phone? How the hell is that possible?
I think that's one of the craziest parts to this as well, because I haven't played it, and I probably won't play it for a long time, because I do still want to play through Breath of the Wild properly first. But what always surprises me whenever I've seen other people play it, or any of the things that Nintendo showed off is that I keep thinking there's going to be really strict limits on those abilities in terms of, okay, I can only put like 4 things together, and then
Yeah.
suddenly people are building these massive bridges with pieces that like countless pieces, and I'm like, how is the Switch's like really limited memory, like being able to handle this? It's kind of wild what they were able to get. That must be so optimized, that game.
Oh yeah, like through the programmers at Nintendo are again underrated. Like they're incredible what they're pulling out of these games and what they can do. And just looking at the credits and you see how many programmers, it's like I don't even get how this is possible, even with the time that they had. And you know, to your point, it's like you have a true sense of freedom in the game that to me does really wreck a lot of other games in that category. Because I try to play them like Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild, and I'm like, I can't jump over a fence. Like, I'm stuck by a fence. And now, like a God of War, I get that that's kind of like the flow of it, right? So I can kind of get my head around that and just accept it. But others, I'm like, I just feel so limited, and they're meant to be like an open world style game like that. You know, Starfield is a good example. It's like it totally broke the immersion the way it worked. Whereas Tears of the Kingdom, and you know, spoilers, jump ahead 30 seconds, you know, having the depths and then, you know, the sky and Hyrule as a land, and you can go between these things pretty much seamlessly. So you don't feel like there's these fake limitations with it. And like, I literally just got obsessed one day. I'm like, I'm going to try to see how high I can go.
Yeah.
And it's like, I got so freaking high. And there is actually a limit. Like, just like there's a limit for how far west, east, north, and south you can go. But the game's unreal. And I think, like, to me, one of the big testaments of like how much I love it is like, I'm going to go on another Korok run. I'm going to get those little Koroks.
I was gonna ask if you had or were planning
I will.
to do it.
Because
It the same? Is it the same amount?
dude, it's even worse now in a way because, you know, when I say Korok, I also mean I'm going to get everything, just like I did with Breath of the Wild, right? But you got to remember there's like the depths. So it's the entire size of Hyrule, but underground, right? So I got to collect all the shit there. Then I got to go to the surface and collect all the shit there.
I tell you what, I weep for all those poor games on your pile of shame. You know, poor Dark Souls 3. Nah, screw that. I'm gonna collect all the core seeds again.
Dude, okay. It's so funny that you said Dark Souls 3. So there's another game that I'll talk about in my 5 that I just beat today, actually, and I'm quite proud of myself. Quite chuffed that I clocked it.
You are the clockist.
I clocked it. Yes, exactly. But you know what the game that I was thinking of playing next? No joke.
Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls 2.
Hey, I like Dark Souls 2. I like Dark Souls 2.
Let's be real. You got a bit of a chub right now. You got a mini chub.
I got a mini Dark Souls 2 chub, yes.
Yeah, I was either that or Demons and Souls. That was either one or the other. So that's kind of what I was thinking. But anyway, yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, amazing game. Can't believe you haven't played Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. It's unbelievable.
One day, I actually, there's random times, like every like couple of months, I'll be like, should I restart Breath of the Wild today? It's like, oh, I'll do it next time. I will get to that game one day.
Well, I don't know if it's a part of your 5, but on that topic, are you still in the mad achievement hunt?
I am, but the first of my highlights will kind of talk to, I guess, why things have been a bit quieter for me from an achievement standpoint this year.
Okay.
So my first highlight, and I talked a little bit about this on our last couple of weekly episodes, but was playing through the Yakuza Like a Dragon series. Because I previously, before 2023, I should say, I had only ever played through Like Dragon, Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon. And then because I love that so much, and obviously it's very different, it's an RPG, I then started from Yakuza Kiwami 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, 0, then 6. And it was such an awesome ride. Like these are meaty games, they're pretty long, and I think I played them all. I played all through those ones in about 2 months, and it was just
Wow.
like I could not get enough of them. Like I'd beat one of them. I wasn't 100%ing them. 100%ing those games is a huge task. But basically, I'd beat one, be like, man, I really want to start like Yakuza 4 now or Yakuza
Mm.
5, and man, those games are so special. Like they definitely have their flaws, and I think that there's going to be some people that don't enjoy the gameplay style and the fact that the games from game to game can get repetitive in some ways. But man, they're special. Like, they really are special, and I was so super pumped that they put out Like a Dragon Gaiden, like in December or whatever it was. That was really cool, and the fact that the next one is coming out like in a week or over a
Australia
week or
Day.
something.
Australia Day.
That's insane to me. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up on launch, but I'm so happy that I played through all those games, because with Like a Dragon Gaiden, there's like an emotional crescendo. Obviously, I won't get into for spoilers. That it's like, man, the journey of those games and the characters and everything, it was just really special. So, and the thing is, well, so when I mentioned achievements, it was really good to just have a break and say, okay, I'm just sitting down playing these games purely for the enjoyment of the games and the experience, not sitting there thinking, okay, oh, what do I have to do for this achievement, this achievement? Just, I don't, there's times when I'm just happy that I just don't care about it at all. Because, I don't know if anyone's randomly watching this episode without seeing any of our other episodes, but like RPG completions is what I care about for achievements.
And I'll just add to that. It's not just like, oh yeah, you're like, you care about it. You're like in the top echelons in the world in terms of completion on the Xbox.
I put way too much time into and focus onto it, and that's why just having a break from that and playing it purely for nothing else, just for the fun and the story, was just really cool. And I really, really recommend the series to anyone. I think it's really, really cool, and there's multiple different points you can jump in. I prefer. A lot of people don't like the idea of starting with Yakuza 0, even though story like timeline wise that's the earliest game.
Yeah.
It's almost like I started at Kiwami 1, which is basically Yakuza 1 remake, and I liked that starting point, because then by the time I got to 0, it pieced things together well. But look, Yakuza 0 is that's the game that made the series famous in the West. That is a good entry point for anyone wanting to get into it, and it's also a fucking amazing game, Yakuza 0. So yeah, that was like the big early 2023 highlight for me, of just playing through all those games.
It's interesting because like I would consider myself like, honestly, like an informed casual gamer. I'm not like a hardcore gamer. So, like, maybe people would think that's insane to say if you like have a gaming podcast at all, right? But I really do think I'm more of a informed casual. Like, I don't beat, like, it would take me 5 years to get through the whole Yakuza series. But like, one thing I would say about it is, because Yakuza Like a Dragon to me was the one that like broke through to the West.
Zero was the big one, and
well, with casuals, then I'll say, because it's like I kind of knew the series, but it's like I was like, wow, I keep hearing a lot about it.
Yeah, 0 really was the big one.
Okay.
7, I think, from a critic standpoint, got a lot more attention. I think that's where like you had a lot more coverage around it at that point.
Yeah.
But 0 basically saved the series.
Okay.
It was like the Fire Emblem awakening of
yeah.
the Yakuza series.
Well, that's probably a good comparison, because like Fire Emblem Three Houses, is much bigger than Awakening. Like, if you actually look at the sales, it's like 3 times bigger. But I get where you're coming from now. But but that's where I'm coming from the casual perspective, like not knowing those things. But I find it weird that they've like changed the name of the series, number one. Like, it feels odd, the timing of doing that. Like, now it's Like a Dragon.
Yeah.
Right? And I get that's the original name. And then they put like a spin-off game out last year.
Yeah.
That kind of like people spoke about, but I'm like, wait, is this the new big game? Because I don't follow it. Because I'm like, you know what, maybe I'll jump in on it. And I'm like, wait, this is not like the main game. The main game's coming out next year, which is this year now. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
Guide
from a marketing perspective, I'm like, they make so many fucking games in this series, but it's like so confusing to me.
Gaiden would be a tough jumping on point because basically, without getting into spoilers, Yakuza 6 was kind of like a big end of a big story arc.
Yeah.
And this, but it, I don't think a lot of people are happy with the way it kind of wrapped up. And Gaiden is almost like the ending. It was almost like the Evangelion original TV series, like, and end of Evangelion. It was
Oh,
like
okay.
the ending that we kind of deserved. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, although I like Yakuza 6, but Gaiden's just, when we say it's a smaller title, it's still a beefy game, but it's just like the main story is like maybe 15 to 20 hours versus like 30 to 40 kind of time.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Second thing for me, and it's gaming related, but not a game. I'll sort of blend the games through. Is the Steam Deck. So through Mike again, I grabbed his Steam Deck because he has so many of these devices that I think he had to get rid of one, or else he would be in trouble. But that device, I literally I've kind of switched. I used to say to people that are like, I'm thinking about playing games. I don't know much about it, blah, 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 right? My recommendation was normally just get something like the Switch. It's so simple. There's no effing around. It depends what games you want to play, right? Otherwise, I'd probably say get a PlayStation 5, right? Now, genuinely, if people go, hey, I want to get into gaming, well, I'm just like, get a Steam Deck. Like, why not? Like, it's so, for the price you pay for what you get, it's so ridiculous. And it's freaking awesome, man. Like, downsides, the form factor, I'm not like super, I've got small hands. So Mike, he's got massive hands. He doesn't care.
Perfect
right?
for Mike.
It's perfect for Mike. He probably thinks it's too small.
He cracks it every time he grabs it.
But it's just, because it's a PC, it's so flexible. Like, I'm able to do like remote play to my PS5 on it. It just does so much. I can put like Epic games on there. Like, I have my normal Steam games. Like, if you're just getting into, like, we have a friend who is always dabbling about going back into gaming, right? Or getting into gaming to a degree. I just think he should just get a Steam Deck. Like, to me, it just does everything you need to do, and you don't have to worry about configuring a PC and graphics cards and all this other shit. And you can still dock it just like you can with a Switch.
I think first of all, Steam Deck still not officially available in Australia.
True, and it probably never will be because Valve hates Australia.
Is fucking so annoying. Not that I'm not kind of in the market for anything like a Steam Deck, but I still find it annoying that it's not available to us officially.
Yeah.
But I think when you said the recommendation, I think would be a really good recommendation simply because of the range of all the games on Steam and everything.
Yeah.
But I think the key is when you're talking about the Switch or whatever the Switch 2 will be, is do they care about those Nintendo first-party titles? Because obviously they can only get them there. And if they don't care at all, then I think you're right. I think something like Steam Deck is a great recommendation.
Yeah, I think it's a really weird one where it's like, I think there's probably 3 hierarchies. There's like Ultra Cash family, big Nintendo IP stuff.
Ultra Cash.
If
we were doing episode titles,
Ultra Cash. Yeah, I mean, let's put it on. Let's note it down. Ultra Cash. How do you spell Cazh? I always wanted to know how to spell that. How would you spell it? Because you're the wordsmith.
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever thought about how you would actually write that down.
Because if you write CAS, it doesn't feel right.
That's like Ultra Cazh. And if
exactly.
I don't know. CAZ?
Ultra Cazh. Ultra Cash. Cash.
Why are we talking about this?
Because I've actually spelled it out a few times, Cash. And I'm like, this doesn't read right. Like, I can't figure out a way to spell it correctly. What are you drinking? What are you promoting? Do you want to promote something?
I'm not going to dox myself, but I'm drinking something.
Good. Smart man.
I'm drinking something I have a personal attachment to.
You gotta have dox yourself. I don't know why you did that.
I didn't. It wasn't fully visible.
I saw enough of it.
It wasn't fully visible. It's not alcohol. It's not alcoholic. Let me just say that much.
Shit, what were we talking about before we went in the
Ultra Cats, I don't know.
Ultra Cash, and then I think, some people just want to play the FIFAs, the Maddens, not so much the Maddens, but definitely the FIFAs in Australia. It's probably PS5. And then I think everyone else, it's like Steam. Unfortunately, I'm missing out on one console.
I don't care.
But yeah, that's my number 2.
Okay. So for me, the next highlight of last year was crossing something off on my list that I had always tried to avoid, which was I actually like the Dead Island games now, which I was always... I'd only ever played the first Dead Island game, and I first played it, I think I played co-op with a bunch of mates, including Mike, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. There was something about it. And then I chose like a class that was like a really annoying class, and I threw my best weapon away and it got stuck and I couldn't get it again. I'm like, fuck this game. And then the reason why I also avoided it was because they're considered RPGs on True Achievements, and there's like 3 different versions of number 1 and 3 different versions of Riptide, and then obviously number 2 came out, and that's last year, and it's like, I'm just trying to avoid it. And then I finally, last year, I said, I'm going to play Dead Island. And bloody hell, I really liked Dead Island. And I probably liked Riptide even more, which was like, the whole, like, was going to be DLC. Now it's like its own big standalone thing. I actually think they're really cool games, and I've got Dead Island 2 sitting out there. I haven't played it yet. I've heard really good things about Dead Island 2. I think it's meant to be a super solid and really fun game. Dan Buster Studios apparently did a really good job. And for me, it was just like, it's one of those things where you just got on your shoulders, and like, considering how old that game is, it's kind of wild that I waited that long to actually give it a proper shot. And I know Mike loves those games, so
yeah, he really loves it.
I hope maybe he feels a bit of, like he feels a bit like, see, I told you so on that one. And I mean, it kind of got me interested in playing, trying out Dying Light as well, Techland's series that they moved on to. But yeah, someone that doesn't like zombie media at all and didn't like the game at first, I think it's kind of wild that I ended up liking them. So.
I have to say, if like 20 years ago you were into zombie media, you had a wild ride in the last 20 years. Like, is there anything more overexposed than zombie stuff? It's insane. There's like more zombie shows because of The Last of Us getting, made into a TV show.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. You've got like Last of Us and Days Gone and all these games that you kind of like forget are zombie things, but Last of Us is kind of now exists as its own echelon.
Yeah, it's so good that it's almost above that shit. Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, that's right. There's plant zombies in this, But I think people forget that. But yeah, that was one of my highlights. Is kind of igniting a love for those Dead Island games.
Yeah, nice. So. Number 3 for me, and this is not a game that came out last year, but I don't even think they had an update last year, to be fair. It came out a few years ago, is Returnal.
Yes.
So, because, like, obviously without the show, sort of means that you just play whatever, and I'm less inclined to get stuff that's new, because I'm like, look, I definitely want to play Alan Wake 2, but I want to get a physical version. So I'm kind of waiting to see if they do release a physical version. Like all those type of things. So it's a bit, and I know that they'll go on sale, and games are so expensive now. It's so crazy. Like, you buy a digital game in Australia and it's like $120 sometimes. It's so crazy. But anyway, Returnal. And it's like a game I've always wanted to play. But far out, man. That game, I like, just trying to like be careful with how I say that. The way I felt about that game, I haven't felt like that about a game. And, I played Tears of the Kingdom and other games as well. Since like maybe Elden Ring. And then before that, like Dark Souls. Like the sense of like, because it's a tough game. It's a freaking tough game. Like, I genuinely was like, I don't know if I could beat this game. Like when I was starting to play through it, and I'm like dying in the first boss, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat this freaking game, man. But it just demands you to like learn its systems, its approach. I had to totally remap my controller. And the other thing that I don't know, I kind of like put it on as like it's a game that requires a bit from you is when I'm actually having to do like either claw grip or I had my 2 feet. So I had normally the way I play is just the index fingers on L1 and L2, R1, R2, right? Returnal, I had to have 2 fingers. Like I had a finger on L1, a finger on L2, a finger on R1, a finger on L2 at all times. Like, and I remapped the dash and jump. And I was like, the way I can play it now, I could fly around the fucking map. Because it's just like, this game demanded so much of me to fucking try to get good at it and then try to beat it. And I actually beat it today. So I've been playing it. Yes, thank
Congrats.
you. But fuck, man, that game is like going to be a cult classic. Because, yeah, it sold well and everything, but I don't know, it just doesn't feel like anyone talks about it anymore, right? And it's so, like, I think you and Mike, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like Mike, I'm surprised that Mike didn't play it more.
Well,
maybe it didn't click. Maybe it didn't click.
Mike has a penchant, I think, sometimes for realizing, and it's not a bad thing, but realizing when something is like almost too addictive. And he's like, I don't want to get stuck in this loop of what I feel like doing a similar thing. And that's why I think he returned it. And that's why we got the returnal policy episode name.
That's right, yeah.
Because I think he didn't want to kind of, that he worries about getting like stuck in and like addicted to games and things.
But I think the thing is that Returnal, it's such an interesting game because it's a rogue light. Is that the right way to say it?
Yeah, that'll be the right way.
Which is almost like the new, like rogue light. Like, are there any games that are roguelikes anymore? Like, feels like everything's a roguelike
I mean, there's indie games on Steam and stuff.
But not major ones. Like, it feels like you have to have some type of permanent progression or else people totally lose their minds.
Yeah, and I mean, it's also like the actual gameplay style, like you're not moving square to square, like rogue or whatever.
Of course. But the only reason why I say that is because to me, although, yes, of course, you could say that Returnal is a roguelike, but it's kind of not to me. Like, I've played roguelites and they're kind of like, so Hades is a good example, right? I beat Hades, sweet. Then what did I do after that run? Oh, I'm gonna play Hades again. Do another run. Like, I played Hades maybe like half of the time was after I'd beaten it. Returnal, beat it. There's stuff to do after you beat it, but I'm like, I'm kind of done with this game. Like, and the way it's structured and the shortcuts and things you can do, and I won't spoil it because it is more relatively fresh. It's sort of like, it kind of goes against some of those roguelike elements. So there are, I don't know, I think it's just more like, yes, it does procedurally generate the map to a degree. Like, very much like Hades, like it'll bring tiles out of its selection and then it'll randomize the items. But to me, it actually doesn't truly feel like a roguelite. Like, I understand totally why people call it that, but I just think it's like the way that the narrative is structured, and it's a really cool story. It's a freaking cool atmosphere. It looks freaking amazing. The game is so cool. Like, I slept on it. I knew I always wanted to play it, and it feels like almost like a 3D Galaga or something. It's just like the way that you have to play it and it demands you to play it.
Did you try it with 3D audio?
Well, I got no way to do that, but I would have liked to do that because I know that people said that it makes it a lot easier to understand people behind you.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I really want to try it out, because I've never actually really used the 3D audio headset that I got.
Oh yeah, have you got the headset? Oh,
yeah, I got it like when I got my PlayStation 5. But I've barely tried. I think I may have tried it with Astro. But I don't know if that was a good application of it or not. But I heard Returnal is, so
it definitely is. Yeah. I'm trying to adjust my thing because I'm getting like totally blown out. Wait, I might try to see if I can adjust something. I don't know.
That's all good. While you're doing that, I'll just say on the topic of roguelikes.
Yes.
Last year I also played through the Assassin's Creed Valhalla roguelike mode, which I kind of avoided because I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound that fun. I think it's called The Forgotten Saga.
Yeah.
It was a free update, and that was really fun. So, yeah, I really recommend that to anyone that is into those recent Assassin's Creed games, but feels like, oh, that roguelite thing sounds a bit weird. Give it a shot. It's really fun.
Yeah, I definitely think with Returnal, if you like the Souls games, I think give it a try. Like if you're happy with the difficulty, it's hard. Like it's actually like I think the Dark Souls games, you can't have a difficulty. We've covered this on the show previously, but I feel like you can't really put a difficulty setting into the Souls games. Like it feels wrong to do that. And I think there's ways to cheese it. There's ways to cheese it.
Yeah, they have support options inherently built in for mechanics and stuff.
I think with Returnal, it's like the story is so good and the way it all flows is so good that I could actually have seen them change the difficulty. Like, I don't think it would be as offensive. Now, you definitely wouldn't get the level of satisfaction. No way. Like, when I beat it, I was so happy, dude. Like, it literally felt the same as when I beat Dark Souls. Because I was like, shit, am I ever going to be able to beat this freaking game? It was driving me nuts, right? Whereas Elden Ring, I think, was a lot easier than Dark Souls, personally. But Returnal was tough, but I'd totally recommend it. Awesome story. And, you know, I get your compulsion about achievements and stuff like that. I was like, should I try to platinum this game? So I look at the guides and stuff. I'm like, nah, fuck that. There's so much bullshit that you have to do. Like basically just doing runs over and over and over again just to get the RNG to go in your favor. And I'm like, this is just not going to be fun. Like this is a compulsion rather than, you know, like actually entertaining. But yes, Returnal, huge recommendation from me. I can't wait till you guys play it. And let me know because it does have a co-op mode. So I'd be happy to jump back in.
Cool. And you were talking about Souls-likes, and my third highlight of 2023 was me basically dubbing 2023 as the year of the Souls-like for various reasons. And there's a couple here that didn't come out 2023, but two of the very best Souls-likes made by people that aren't from Soft came out in 2023. One being Liza P, which is an absolutely phenomenal game. It is pretty damn tough. I'd say it's tougher than the Dark Souls trilogy.
Really? Oh, yeah. Shit. Maybe I won't play it. I wasn't thinking about playing it.
They did make some adjustments to the balancing that I think makes it a lot better. I think that the only downside, like to me, the only bloody downside in this game, which is wild, is the fact that some of the bosses are a bit too punishing. It's pretty, and you know, like it's pretty rough. But in saying that, if you persevere, you can get through. And there's also they'd have like inbuilt NPC summons and things to help with that stuff. And you can cheese stuff if you know a good strategy. But Liza P was absolutely amazing. And the other one, which is a game that I haven't personally played through yet, but I'm representing Mike here, which is Lords of the Fallen, the reboot slash
I haven't played it. I own it.
Well, the reason I haven't played through it yet is because I'm still waiting for them to really, just waiting for it to get patched because it was really rough on consoles at launch. But by all accounts, by people in the Souls community and Mike, it's one of the best that non-FromSoft Souls-likes, and I am a fan of the original as much as a lot of people don't like it, and I'm looking forward to playing it. But the ones I did play, Wolong Fallen Dynasty, a game that kind of everyone forgot about, that came out I think like January in 2023. It was like really early. I absolutely love that bloody game, and I went back to it recently with all the DLC. Absolutely awesome. I love the combat in it. The story is absolutely shit. I skip every bloody cutscene.
Whoa, you do an internet move. I like it.
I do not care because the gameplay is so fun. I think it's a story that if you're into like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms stuff and the Dynasty Warrior stuff, because they kind of assume that you know all these characters already, but I don't know any of that stuff. But it was just the gameplay is really fun. 2 days ago, it's not from 2023, but for me, it's like my year of the Souls. Like I finished and completed Stranger Paradise, that Final Fantasy Souls like from Team Ninja. Talking about Team Ninja, another Team Ninja game. I really enjoyed that, and I definitely didn't skip the cutscenes of that one because it's fucking hilarious.
What was the word? I've forgotten the word. What was the word?
Chaos.
Chaos.
And you know what? It's not spoiling anything, but it's so funny. There's a good justification for why he keeps talking about
Okay,
chaos.
that's good. That's good.
It's
There's lore reasons.
what's wild about the game, because anyone doesn't know, it's basically like a prequel to Final Fantasy 1, right? And it's actually
Which is pretty cool. Like the idea is sick.
They kind of like the storyline of Final Fantasy 1 is so straightforward and simple, but they pick out the like what there is, and they kind of create this new kind of almost like canon and extrapolate on it in funny ways. And I really like Stranger Paradise. That was really cool. And the DLC is fucking hard as hell, but I managed to get through it. And the last one I'll talk about a bit later because it's got its own highlights. So.
Oh, okay. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Fourth thing from me, and it feels like this came out so much longer ago for some reason. I'm pretty sure it was last year. I did check it before the show, but now I'm like losing confidence again. Is the fourth for me was the Mario movie.
Was it last year? Was it?
Well, this is what I'm saying. So like I'm like 99% sure it was last year.
Wow, no, it was, but it feels like so long ago since the Mario movie.
I know. I've seen it so many times as well. So I got to watch it with my older son. And, my younger one has seen it since. But, like, having seen the original Mario movie in the cinemas, that's how old we are. We're fully dating ourselves now, right? And that came out, 93, I think?
Yeah, no, I don't want to talk about it.
Which also, that also means that, it was like, 30 years? Like,
I have a strange love for that original Mario movie. It's horrible, but it's actually well made.
It's super interesting and super weird.
Yeah.
But it's not a good movie. Let's be real.
But when I say it's well made, it's well directed and shot, and the props are awesome and stuff. But it's as a Mario movie, it's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, it's so bad. It took them 30 years to make another Mario movie. Literally, 2023 to 1993. I was a bit. I don't know. I didn't know what to think because I'm also not a fan of Minions and stuff like that. So I had low expectations going into the movie. Watched it, I'm like, this is a really good movie. Like, this did what it needed to do. It's not a great movie. It's not a Toy Story. Or, actually what's a really good kids movie that I genuinely think if you sat down and watched it, you'd be like, that was a good movie, is the new Puss in Boots movie.
I've heard it's good.
It's actually good. Like, so I watched it with my kids because my kids wanted to watch it, right? I went to the cinema, watched it. I'm like, this is a really good movie. Like, I'm into this movie. Like, I'm like recommending this movie to people, not kids. But yeah, no, Mario movie. I loved it. And man, Nintendo are going to make so much money. Oh. Like, Jesus Christ. They smashed it out of the park with this movie. And it didn't end up, beating the records given the Barbie, Oppenheimer stuff that was going on. But it was still up there as one of the biggest grossing films of the year. And it feels also the Marvel movies are on the decline. So it's definitely like perfect timing. I think let's maybe, if we want to do another show, we can talk about what's ahead. But I genuinely can see, like, it's smashed it out of the park so much. Surely they're thinking Smash Brothers movie type thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's make more movies and then let's start bringing in Sonic and all this shit.
Well, it's crazy to me that they went ahead and officially announced the Zelda movie as a live action production.
I know.
Which is crazy to me, considering, I know it took a while to make, but considering how well they landed the Mario animated movie, So.
No, and my brain exploded when I saw, because like Sony was doing an update at CES, and it was like Sony CEO talks about Zelda live action movie, and I was like, what's this AI generated tweet or something, And I'm like, oh wait, this is actually real. Like, Sony are producing it for Nintendo. I'm just like, wow, I don't know. That one's going to be different though.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that shouldn't be a live action or?
Oh, no, I think they can do a live action. It's fine. I mean, you've got lots of great fantasy live action films. I just, like, going back to the Mario movie, because I watched it fairly recently, so a long
Yeah.
time after it came out, and I thought it was really, really good. But I've got a controversial opinion about it, which is I don't think Jack Black nailed Bowser.
Oh, wow. That is controversial.
And I think part of it is the way they modeled Bowser's face. It's just a bit off to me. And I think that's why some of the moments, like, when he's like playing that Peach song and all this stuff, it's like none of that hit with me because I just kept thinking something's like uncanny about this Bowser to me. But I like the rest of the film. Like, I thought it was awesome. I love a lot of the moments, like the fact that they had this is an Easter egg, so it's not a spoiler or whatever, but how they had a map in like a hut or something, and it looked like the Super Mario World map,
Yeah,
the design of it. I just love all those kind of callbacks.
Oh, there's so many Easter eggs.
I love it. And, I think that it was like, it's not a movie I'll probably watch again. I think if I had kids, it'd be different. I'd probably watch it with the kids again. But I really look forward to them being able to, like, I don't know. It was a very safe story, this one.
Yes.
So I hope that I hope with the sequel, because they'll definitely make a sequel, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That they can kind of get a bit crazy and a bit weirder, like like Mario can get. So
yeah, I liked Jack Black. I thought he did a good job. I think that initially, when we saw the characters, it's like, wow, they look different. Like even Mario looks different, right? Donkey Kong looks the most different. But I like Jack Black's performance. Like, I thought it was more aggressive at some points than I was expecting to a degree. The only thing in the movie where I felt like this absolutely to me did not nail it. Like, and it's like, it stirs me up because it feels like there's no way that they're going to change the cast on this person is, strangely enough, who I normally like is Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. He fucking gave me the shits, man. Because it was just like, this is Seth Rogen. Like, he's not even like Jack Black. I get like you might not it felt like it fit, but he was putting in the character. Even Chris Pratt.
It was more the face, the animation. But yeah, I know what you're saying with Seth Rogen. It was literally just Seth Rogen.
He's just like, hey guys, and his stupid laugh, and I was just like, what? And it did not feel like it gelled with Donkey Kong at all that they tried to put in the movie. Like that did not work. But Charlie Day, man, he was insanely incredible as Luigi. Like, I think he himself put it in the running to go, okay, maybe they do make a Luigi's Mansion movie.
Yeah.
Like for Halloween or something, right? Like, so I'm sure they're going to make more stuff. That was my fourth thing I really enjoyed this year. And I will watch all the rest of them because I have kids and they love that shit. So.
All right. Well, my fourth, so I mentioned the Souls-like aspect. My fourth highlight of 2023 was playing Remnant 2 co-op with Mike. So Remnant 2 came out last year. Both Mike and myself were big fans of the first game. The sequel comes out, actually hit really well, had a lot of people playing it, kind of got forgotten about after its initial kind of buzz, but it did hit really well, which also was probably Embrace the Group probably really needed a hit last year.
Yeah.
It's one of their only highlights of 2023, considering how shit the rest of the year went for them. But Remnant 2 is a fantastic game, and it is almost like a perfect co-op game. And the great part about it is you don't need to have played the first one. You can jump in. You can play single player, but I really recommend co-op. It's just really designed for it and honestly balanced for it. The only negative I really have towards the game is it's not a great balanced single player game. But it's also the fact that I had a bit of theory, right? So they kind of stealth shadow dropped Remnant 2 into Game Pass last year, which not that long after it came out, only a couple months. And I have a theory that with Embracer Group, because they're basically just they're shutting studios, they're looking to sell stuff off. Yeah. I'm like, did they just reach out to Microsoft and say, what can we do? Can we get Remnant 2 on Game Pass? We need a cash injection. And that's why basically it was almost shadow drop, because they didn't have time to rev up a marketing cycle or anything. Because that's a pretty big game to add into Game Pass, considering it was a 2023 release. And the fact that it just got added like that. So that was a kind of a theory I had, is like, is it Embracer just really trying to get everything they can out of what they put out last year, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, Embracer, the whole, I think we said it on the show. It's like, this is not sustainable, right? I think I was saying that it's like Microsoft, like, they're pretty good at organizing shit and they cannot do it with all the studios they have, right? How the hell is Embracer going to do it? Where they have even more studios, more projects. That's just not possible. You can't do it.
So what we had Volition got closed down, you know, the Saints Row and Red Faction and all that. They shut down what is the name? The Time Splitters guys, I can't remember, but I guess the revitalized version of that studio. It's not the same studio it was, and now that's closed. I just read today that apparently a studio that Gearbox bought, and hence were a subsidiary, are now had a bunch of their stuff fired off. Embracer is in such a bad position, and as you mentioned, like when we were doing the weekly shows, it's like, oh, Embracer have bought the rights to the Lord of the Rings, story IP or some bullshit, something like that. It's like limited run games and all this, and it's like, how? I think back then you were like, I'd love to like sit down and speak to the head dude,
exactly,
just to kind of like understand what his business approach is. Now, I think that was well before obviously any news about that big $2 billion deal or whatever ridiculous thing it was that with the Saudi investment fund, public investment fund. But yeah, I think just, you know, closing off the Remnant 2 thing, an absolutely amazing game. It's like a perfect mix of, you know, like it's a third-person shooter with Souls-like, but it's just puzzles, like hidden secrets, shit that like you're like, man, who thinks of this? You know, it's like wild stuff. Cool co-op experience. So
no, nice. The fifth and final for me highlight of last year in gaming wise, and this would be my favorite game of the year, but I don't think it's the best game of the year, but I think it's my favorite. It is my favorite. Is Mario Wonder. What a amazing return to form for 2D Mario.
What a wonderful return to form.
It's like, so Mario is like the Super Mario Brothers on the Nintendo. And we've spoken about this on other podcasts, but that was the first game that I was like, wow, this is so cool, this medium, right? What the hell is this? This is so sick. It wasn't the first game I played, but it was the first game that gripped me. And then when Mario 3 came out, I was like fanging for that game. I was just counting down to Christmas because I got it on Christmas Day. And I was so pumped. And that game that holds up, that game. That holds up. It was a good game to get hyped about, right? Mario World, super awesome. Freaking loved it. Yoshi's Island, I personally don't really think of that as a Mario game. I never really have, right? I know it officially is, but I'll put that out, right? So Mario World. And then from there, yes, you've had all the 3D Marios, Mario 64 I love, Odyssey, etc. But all these new Mario games, and I've played them all. They're just, like, I think I've said this to you as well, that it's not like they're actually bad, but it's almost a little bit like the new series of The Simpsons.
Yeah, and when you say new Super Mario Brothers, new Super Mario Brothers, Wii U and all those, yeah.
And it's just almost like a pale imitation of what Mario was, right? And then this game comes along, it gets announced, everyone's like, wow, okay, it's kind of interesting. And then, you know, we start to get little hints of like, is there magic here? You know, I think you mentioned it, that there was a speedrunner who was like analyzing the footage. Is like, oh, I like the momentum. Yeah, looks good, you know?
Yeah, Grand Pooh Bear was like, something about the control looks like it's not going to be as like weirdly floaty as the new games.
The momentum that just, you let go of the controller and you just carry on. Yeah. So like a few things like that. And then, you know, there's a IGN, and I'm actually blanking on his name at the moment. He's like Ryan McCaffrey or something like that.
Sounds familiar.
So he's like the main Xbox guy at IGN. He loves Mario, and he had a hands-on, and he was talking about it and going, this is awesome. This is like the best Mario since Mario World. I'm like, dude, this is like, okay, you're starting to like amp me up here. And then yeah, it came out, played it. I'm like, this game is freaking insanely good. Like in 10 out of 10, straight up. Like it is fully worthy to be in that Mario canon and also tier of like Mario World. Like I am totally comfortable or ready to go Mario World, Mario Wonder. Put it in the same tier. Like it's so fucking good. And the weird thing about this game is it got my son into playing games. So this is like pretty much the first game that he started playing and he actually likes it. And now he's playing games. It's so weird. He is playing Goat Simulator now, not other games.
Hey, that has its charms. I don't know if it's Mario Wonder level of quality, but it has its
he
charms.
actually beat Mario Wonder by himself, which I think is insane. Like, you know, like played all the levels, beat the last level, which is like not an easy level actually. So I was quite proud of that. But yeah, this game's awesome. And I'm keen to hear if you've like, I don't actually know if you've played it, if you own it, if you're going to play it.
No, I haven't. And the reason why, it's not a matter of, oh, wait till it's cheap, because those games
They
really
never
go
change.
cheap,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's like, you get your money's worth out of them anyway.
Oh yeah. In this game, yes.
It's the fact that if I buy it, it's going to go in the pile of about like 10 Switch games that I've got that I haven't played yet because I don't really use my Switch. And so at that point, it's a matter of, well, on the odd chance that Amazon might have some special that goes up every 2 years or something, and Mario Wonder's on that list, then maybe I add to that pile. But I kind of want to play through the stuff I've got, which is a shame because Mario Wonder looks like it would be right up my alley. But we talked about the Zelda games. Like I've got those games. I've got like Mario Rabbids. I've got so many. I've got Xenoblade Chronicles. I've got all these Switch games, but whenever I jump on my Switch, it's like I'm falling asleep and I just play Picross. You know, that's all I really use it for right now.
Yeah, the only thing is like, here's me. I'll try to mount the argument for it, right? Totally get all of those things. Like you said, if you buy a physical copy of this game, you could actually pretty much sell it. It's going to cost you like $10, $20 at most for eternity. Like these games never go down in price, right?
I know.
Number two. I genuinely think that out of all the games, because you played Mario Odyssey, right?
Yeah, I loved Odyssey. I love Odyssey.
I think out of all the games that have come out on the Switch, and then I think about you, this is 10 hours to beat this game. I actually think you would.
I know.
I would just go forget all those games, park them. This game, and then you love Yoshi's Island.
Yeah.
Like, I just want you to experience it. It's like before other things get ruined in the game, you know?
Yeah, you know me.
You've probably seen all of it.
I've seen a lot of the game, but that's not gonna stop me from wanting to play it eventually.
Yeah.
I think the issue's not that there's all the other games, it's the fact that I just don't use my Switch.
Yeah.
And part of that is because my gaming habits are so focused on the other consoles, especially obviously my
Xbox,
RPGs on Xbox and stuff. And those games take so long to play that at the moment, like I already play too many games. So
it definitely is in the category for me of like games that you have to play before you die. It's so good. It's so good. Don't die.
Yeah, I'm on my deathbed. I will promise you, I'll make sure I beat Mario Wonder.
I'll bring in the Switch and just plug it into your tube. Yeah, exactly.
The tube.
We'll play co-op. You can play as the character that can't get hurt. And I don't even remember the name of it, Nimblet or whatever it is.
No, I do want to play Wonder, and I'm really happy that game landed so well because, as you said, it's like it feels like the first 2D Mario game since Mario World. It feels like it. It's not, but it feels like it.
Yeah, and like I must admit, because as a classic Nintendo fan, getting Metroid Dread, then getting this game, I gotta say I'm greedy, dude. Like I want another 2D Zelda. God, just give me another 2D Zelda. Shit.
Just remake those Oracle games, please. That's all I want.
Mate, I would take that as well. A remake of like, maybe we can chat about like, any other rapid things after, but what's your fifth and final?
So my fifth and final is probably my biggest highlight for 2023, which was not a 2023 game, but for 13 years, and I've spoken to you about this offline when it happened, but I had a white whale for 13 years, which was a game by the name of Star Ocean 4: The Last Hope. a game that I'd spent about 300 hours trying to get all the achievements, and I was nowhere done. And I hit this wall. Where I would have to do something, and it took like 2 hours. And then if I failed, I'd lose. It was just like those 2 hours for nothing. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it. This was 13 years ago. I cannot do this anymore. And then what happened last year? So I put that away, saying I'd never get to it, never do it. Was I played through Star Ocean: The Divine Force, the newest game, and it was really good, great game. If anyone's wondering, but that's not that's not the highlight. It's the fact that it made me go. I completed it way easier. I'm like, should I go back? Should I give this a shot? Like I have to like somehow get my save transferred from my old 360. It's backwards compatible with the newest Xbox, and I just went nuts. I just like sat down and I put over the course of like 2 months, I put about 400 hours into, and I still got one thing left to do in the game. But basically, I did the hard part. I got all the 100% of the battle trophies. Some of them take like 20 hours just for one. There's like 900 of these fucking battle trophies. I sat there. That was my white whale, getting 100% of these battle trophies. I did it. I binged the entirety of Succession while sitting there grinding some of these trophies. Literally, like, one trophy took me a whole season of Succession, basically.
Wow.
And I was like a man possessed when I did this. And I still remember Joe Jives. I got the game. It was like in an old house he lived in. I brought the game to there, and I said to him, "Man, I heard this takes like 500 hours to do. I tell you, I'm going to complete this game." I remember that, a vivid memory that I told Joe Jives, a #1 listener of the obviously the old show. And I'm like, I'm going to do this, and I fucking did it, man. Like 13 years later. So that was my highlight, and it probably took the weekly show ending as well to give me the time, give me the free time to do it.
So the podcasts have to die so that you can beat Star Ocean.
Pretty much. So I took a break. That was like in, I don't know, May. I took a break. I've got one playthrough left of the game to 100% it. And I said, oh, that's enough for now. I'll come back to you. But, oh man, that was so good.
I still think it's funny that you haven't been there yet.
Well, I've just got to do like a hard playthrough, right? But
how many hours is that going to be?
I don't know. Playthrough is like, I don't know, like 30 hours or something. Maybe.
Wow. Okay.
So anyway, that I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah.
But the weird part of this, it's like for RPG hunters on Xbox, I almost treat Star Ocean 4 as like a rite. It's like a pilgrimage. It's like to be an RPG hunter.
One time in your life.
It is the Mecca. You have to complete this game once in your life. So it was like, for someone that was like #2 in the world for the last decade, and I hadn't done that game, well, it was such a relief. So you can see the joy on my face when I talk about this.
I also like that this whole achievement thing that you do, it's not even logical, right? Like in the sense of, like, that's surely not going to net you the points per hour that other games could,
no,
you know?
I don't care about the points.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's actually what I'm saying. That it's like, it's so illogical. It's like your own like little niche thing that you got in your head. I like how I go, Mario Wonder is 10 hours and you go, I can't fit it in. Hey, for one achievement, I had to play for 30 hours and watch a whole season.
No, not one achievement, one trophy.
For an achievement. Oh my God.
So basically, I'll just say, right, there's 900 battle trophies in the game that of the achievement is to get 80% of them, to get 90% of them, get 100%.
Can I just say that? So, because going back to Returnal for a second, I was debating, I'm like, should I get like the platinum for this game? And I'm like, nah, this is crazy. And then I'm like, oh, Rocket League. I wonder if I'm close to the platinum and that. And actually was. I was like, oh, okay, I just got to do this silly thing to get a platinum, right?
Yeah, I think I've just got to play an online tournament or something for the Rocket League. That's right.
So I spent an hour playing like this season thing. So it's all offline bots, right? Got through it, and it's like a broken trophy. It doesn't pop. And it was 1 hour, and I go, I've wasted my life. And I'm like thinking about what you're doing.
But that was my big highlight, and nice. One of the reasons I wish the weekly show was still going is because I could have talked about how the craziness as I was doing it. But
I think we saved people.
Oh, yeah, it was for my benefit, as in it would have been my benefit.
Nice. All right, well, that was the top five for each of us. Like I've got like a whole list of other stuff, but was there any other big things
I
out there for you?
No, the only thing I wanted to do, I talked about most of these games, was just because we didn't do our like yearly awards and stuff. I just
Yeah.
want to talk about what my top games of last year were.
Yeah.
And I only realized just before that all of these games were literally in Game Pass as well. So that shows how
You're very dedicated.
well, no, it shows how much I didn't want to like actually buy new games last year.
Yeah.
But one of them got added in afterwards anyway. But my number one game was Liza P. My number two game was Remnant 2, so that's the one that got added after I would have had it in my list anyway. Number three was Sea of Stars. I really, really love Sea of Stars. I think it's a great callback, great game, amazing music. Tragedy, Sea of Stars was not nominated for Game Awards music. My number four was Wolong Fallen Dynasty. I talked about that before. And number five was Cocoon, the puzzle game that was nominated, I think, for Indie Game or something from the ex-Playdead guy. Cocoon is awesome. It's a pretty short game. If anyone's got Game Pass, I really recommend giving it a shot. So they're my 5 top games of last year. So
I mean, if I did a top, it would be all the games that I've played from last year.
which is fair enough. Like I didn't play Baldur's Gate, you know.
Well, but the funny thing is, I did play Mario Wonder and Tears of the Kingdom, and there were 2 of the 6 games that were nominated for Game of the Year. I would put Tears number 1, and then Mario Wonder number 2. Number 3, I don't know if this is fair to do, but I'll probably put Metroid Prime Remastered.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, I mean, remasters are a bit funny with that.
I also just want to give an apology to Nintendo on our live reaction. I was really calling that game out. I will say in that direct, it wasn't super clear how much work they put into that until afterwards. And I'm like, how are they charging this much for that? You know, so.
And then I guess like number 4, Mario RPG. So like on those 2 games, they were the first times that I really got like, so Metroid Prime Remastered was the first time I played Metroid Prime. And so as you know, like Super Metroid is my favorite game of all time. I love the Metroid series. I loved Metroid Dread. It's not that I didn't like Metroid Prime Remastered. I did really like it and I beat it and like I did everything in the game. But it wasn't like, I think the thing that I thought was a bit like, this to me is not the same level as like Super Metroid. And you know what? It's weird tying it back, but Returnal, which is highly inspired by Metroid, is almost like a better Metroid Prime game than Metroid Prime, in my view. Like if you applied all the lore and stuff around Metroid to Returnal, and that was like Metroid Prime 4 or whatever, that would be fucking sick. But yeah, like, I don't know. I think I said at the time, it was like, felt like a solid like 8 out of 10 for me. And it was kind of like, wow, it's interesting because people are like, this is 10 out of 10 best game.
I would wonder how you'd feel about it if you'd played it back when it came out.
100%. Yeah, 100%. That is a huge factor. But having said that, I've played like games out of time, like Portal 2. And I played Portal 2 and I'm like, this game is freaking unreal. Dark Souls. When I played Dark Souls, you know, you guys are like, play Dark Souls, play Dark Souls. Play Dark Souls. I'm like, this game is already in my top 10 of all time. This is so freaking... I almost like debate about, is Dark Souls my favorite game of all time? That's how much it hit me. I was like...
Well, we did a special feature.
We did.
You can go back and watch it like a year and a bit ago.
The only other thing I was going to shout out was that I actually got the candy cab. So I've got an arcade machine. It's actually like, it's sitting right there. I've still got a few more things.
Can you drag it over?
I could move the camera to show.
Are they, how heavy are they? Are they pretty heavy? Or?
It's so like, I got it and I'm kind of like, why did I get this?
Is it all plastic or is there wood inside?
There's metal and fiberglass and it's full on. So if people don't know, just search Sega Astro City. But this is a true Japanese. It was shipped from Japan, right?
I thought you got it shipped from Japan.
It's from Japan. It was in Japan before. It's literally got 100 yen token. That's theoretically the only way that I can actually put the coins in, right?
That's nuts. That's nuts.
But it's, everything's Japanese. All the fucking power's Japanese, right? So it's,
so you have to have a converter
dude,
thing.
I had to actually get a multimeter to make sure I didn't kill myself because it's not grounded because Japanese don't have like a ground pin like in Australia.
Yeah.
So they have 2 pins, not 3 pins normally. And it's just like, I don't know what I was expecting. It's not a Switch. You're not buying a Switch. It's a fucking arcade machine. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, even knowing that, I was like, oh my God, this is so much more work than I was expecting. And it's weird. Like, so it's got casters. So what it means is that it looks really cool, but like what it means is that I can just pick it up from the back and push it. So I actually took it up to my apartment that I'm staying at. And, like I was able to just get it in myself by myself. Right. So having said all of that, and I've like installed a Mister in it. So I've got a Mister now as well, right? And again, a Mister is another thing that's like as much as people shit on Analog Pocket and stuff like that, I'm like, no. Like after getting a Mister, I would never recommend someone getting a Mister.
It's not a plug and play thing. No.
I'll say it like this. I would never recommend the Mister, and anyone who goes against my recommendation is the exact person who should get a Mister. Right? Get an Analog Pocket. Get an Analog Pocket and then download one of the Windows apps that you can update the cores and do all the work for you, right? Much easier and cleaner. But the Mister is really cool. The one cool thing about it is, because, just to shortcut it all, it basically means like you're playing a real arcade machine. Like like, how familiar I am with some of these games? It kind of get lost straight away that it's like, it's not like emulation where there's like little things where you go, it's a little glitchy or like something's not quite right or the input lag or anything like that. It's 100% like the arcade. And my 2 kids, like my 2 sons, have started playing like X-Men versus Street Fighter and Street Fighter 2.
Do you make them actually put the money in and you make money?
No, I rigged it so that there's like a button that you can just press. So it's like a coin
you should have taught them the old drill a hole in the coin fishing line trick.
Exactly. I actually want to get 100 yen coins so then I can just use the coin slot from then on. But it's friggin' cool. It's cool to see them play it. And the only thing is like, because it's a real arcade machine, I actually need to rotate the monitor if I want to play stuff like Galaga or Pac-Man and stuff like that.
On Tate mode.
Yeah, Tate. Which by the way, can you tell me, I tried to Google translate Tate because everyone's like, that means vertical in Japanese and Yoko means horizontal. But when I do Google Translate, it doesn't come up like that. I'm like, is this something like I thought that word tate means vertical and Yoko means horizontal?
I mean, it's probably just like slightly similar words for different purposes. Like we have, like they have different, like when counting things, they have like different numbers. Things as well. That's
cool.
So, but yeah, it's like kind of like stand up, upwards kind of thing. I'm just Googling it. It's like, but it's one of those things, but I just love it. Do you ever watch GameSack?
A little bit.
Yeah. He's always like, Tate mode, because it pisses people off.
He does it on purpose. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, so it's in Yoko mode at the moment, but I think once the boys get, because a lot of the games that I probably want to start playing, like Galaga, which I'm obsessed about, and like Donkey Kong, I really want to get better at Donkey Kong. Not King of Kong's level, but I want to get better at it.
We could do a whole show on Billy Mitchell.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna leave it as Yoko for a while, and then when the boys get sick of playing it, I'll rotate it. But it's not that easy to rotate. I might actually need someone to help me.
You should, whenever you've got it set up in, actually with the Mr. Cade or whatever it is. Yeah. What's the support like? Obviously, there's different arcade boards out there. I'm just thinking games like Ikaruga and some of those.
I did double check that it's not available.
Ah, damn.
But there are a lot of what's the other big one? Don Puri or something like that.
Yeah, the other vertical.
You can play that one. You can play that one. And there's a lot of other vertical shooters you can play.
A lot of the cave shooters.
There's a bunch of cave ones you can play now on Mister. The thing about Mister though is like, so I say that, but then there might be other. So what sometimes happens is like someone's like, oh, I want to play this game. But then you can kind of play it on the Neo Geo. So the Neo Geo is emulated through a core. So, because I'm like, I want to play Metal Slug. It's not a Metal Slug core. You play Neo Geo, then you play Metal Slug. So there's a few things like that, like Turtles. I was like, I want to play Turtles. And people are like, oh yeah, play Super Nintendo. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that.
That's also very different than the arcade version.
I agree. And there is a Turtles one coming out. That's specifically the Turtles. The Simpsons just came out last year. The Simpsons came out last year. Turtles came out. Mortal Kombat's coming out soon. And then Street Fighter 3 and Third Strike is coming out soon as well. So I want to get into that. I want to start learning that. So it's like, it's cool to have an arcade, because the thing is, like, my kids, I take them to the arcades, but the arcades are not the arcades that I grew up in.
Can you hook it up so that you also have just like MAME running, as like, so you've got
sorry, do you mean from the Mistacade? No,
I'm saying so you can have both, the best of both worlds. You have your emulation with all
not
the
in an easy way. Not in an easy way.
Okay,
it's arcade monitor. Like, so these aren't like a TV. These are running at like 15,000 kilovolts or kilo. I think it's kilovolts actually. And they're crazy. Like, I don't understand it all. I'm amazed that I can play games on it. I'm fucking amazed.
Wait for your electricity bill.
No, they actually don't. The watts aren't that bad.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually, that's one weird thing. Like, it actually, like with the Mistacade and the TV and everything, it's actually less than like a PS5.
Could you, regardless of whether or not they're ready yet, but in theory, could you somehow get stuff like light gun games working on it?
Yeah, definitely.
So you could get Point Blank and stuff like that if you had the gun cons.
See, but there's not a Point Blank core.
That's what I say. If there was a core, would the screen allow it?
Oh yeah, 100%.
You've got the gun hardware and.
But see, on that one, you could play the PS1 core, and then play Point Blank.
PS1 Point Blank is not that great.
No,
it's not that great.
I don't remember if So like, this is because it's got a jammer interface. So jammer is the Japanese standard arcade interface. So I just need to check if Point Blank is like a jammer. Like,
I was just interested to know, like,
I've checked these things. It's funny you say that, actually.
Because obviously, like, light guns don't work on modern screens. So I was just making sure.
You can do it. I don't know what games you can play though. Like, and it's definitely like, there's not a Point Blank core.
Maybe something similar, a smaller like Operation Wolf or the Terminator 2 arcade game or something. Because they were earlier than Point Blank. So.
Yeah, so Terminator 2, let's say I'm learning about how this shit works now. So Terminator 2, I think it's on the Midway's core. And that specific one had 4 games. I think it was like Terminator 2, I think Mortal Kombat 2 and NBA Jam were all on that one. So a lot of people trying to get that one to work. Like NBA Jam that's not available. That would be like massive for me. I love that game.
Yeah.
Simpsons is massive. Turtles is massive. I love those games. Street Fighter is the biggest one. Like, and it's perfect. Like, it's actually wild to see it. Like, and I showed my son the intro to Street Fighter 2, like the first Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
And he was like captivated by the intro. The guy punching the guy.
The racial Street Fighter.
Yeah. He was like, whoa. And he's like, he actually is imitating Ryu now. He's like, I'm Ryu, Hadouken. He's doing that shit. I'm like, okay, well, this has paid itself off already. I've like ingratiated it into the next generation.
That was worth shipping something from Japan.
Man, it's because we didn't have the podcast, right? And a lot of shit happened last year in my life. It's like, I wasn't really focused on it too much, but dude, it took, no joke, like 9 months from start to finish. It was so long. Like, it took freaking forever. And I was kind of pissed at the guy who like brought it in it's all just people. It's not like companies really, right? It's just people. And like, when he dropped it off, he's like, I thought it was going to be like this, but it's not. Like, they haven't recorded the Japanese chord. So it's like, you can't just plug that in or blow up the machine. So I've got to literally like, I think what I'm going to have to do is like disassemble it and rewire it. So then it's like an Australian port coming out, if you know what I mean. And I'm like, it's just shit I don't want to do. But it's like, it's an arcade machine. What have I done? Why have I done this? Like, I'm a freaking idiot, really.
Because you wanted a project and a cool project.
Well, I asked people about it because I'm like, you know, this is not like for the ladies, an arcade machine. But it's actually shocking when I show people photos and talk about it. They're like, that's actually cool. Because it's so weird and it's so like, this shit's from Japan.
I wouldn't assume that that's always the case, man. There's times when who knows, maybe someone will be impressed.
I think in general, yes. I think Amiibo, no.
Especially if you get Terminator 2 arcade with the light gun working. There you go. That's a lady killer, that one.
All right. Was there anything else you wanted to chat about, or you want to start wrapping up?
No, I just wanted to do a quick quiz with you. That, I found something. It's a quiz on a certain website. I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet. As in what the website is, but basically it's a Nintendo quiz, or like 2023 review quiz of a bunch of Nintendo stuff.
Okay.
I'm just keen to know, considering you're a Nintendo fanboy and proud of it, if you can actually get a decent score on this quiz.
What's the decent score? What's the decent score?
I don't know. There's 15 questions, but I've taken 2 out because one is a picture one and one is related to the website, so we don't care about that.
13 questions.
13 questions, and they're all about Nintendo stuff.
Okay.
I don't think you played all these games, but maybe we can see how you go. So, question 1. And it's multiple choice, but feel free to call it out if you know the answer.
Okay.
Some of these you probably not going to know.
Make it quicker.
What is the name of the beloved doggo introduced in Pikmin 4?
Give me the options. I think I'll know this one.
The options: Poochie, Olibark, Owachi, and Pupman.
Owachi.
I clicked it. Why is it not working? That's the correct answer.
There you go.
It's not. No, it's correct answer, but it's not like letting me click it. There we go.
Disaster.
All right, 1 point. Well done.
So what is a pass mark? You think that not 50-50. You got to get 70%, right?
All right, maybe if it's 13, I think you got to get
10. I'd say 10. Oh, 8.
10.
Okay.
I was going to say 8 for a pass. Some of these are pretty tough.
Okay, I'll say 8. All right. So that's 1 out of that. I got my 1.
All right. Question 2. As of November 2023, where does the Switch sit on Nintendo's list of best-selling consoles? And the answers are 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. So where does the Switch sit in Nintendo's best-selling consoles? As of November 2023.
First, right? I think it got past the Wii.
Incorrect. It's 2nd.
Behind what?
Apparently, it's behind. So the Switch is currently the 2nd best-selling console of November 2023 at 132 million. Nintendo DS currently sits at number 1 with.
That's not a console.
Oh well, okay, all right. We can scratch that one if this is their wording of their question.
Would you call that a console? Would you call that a console?
Okay, all right. Technicality, I think I agree with you. I agree with you. All right, we'll scratch that one.
Yeah, I knew that I had to catch up with the DS because the DS and
okay.
the PS2, they're like 150 million.
All right, I trust that you knew that, so I'm
going
to give you the point.
PS2,
I'm going to give you the point.
PS2 is number 1, just,
yes,
and the DS is just behind it.
Yeah,
and I think the Switch actually might be able to catch it.
All right, I'll reinterpret the question as I first read it to see if there's anything to catch you out like that. I'm going to give you that point.
Very good.
All right, question 3. In the official, if you know this, I'm very worried. In the official music video of Peaches, how many times does Bowser say Peach/Peaches? And the options are 22, 19.
Oh, come on.
27 or 33. 22, 19, 27, or 33.
Do you want me to try to sing it?
Feel free if you think it's going to help you get the right answer.
How does it actually start?
I don't know. 22, 19, 27.
Can I try to sing it and see if I can count it out?
If you go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
Here we go.
We both don't have anywhere better to be. I've got Hogwarts Legacy waiting for me. That's not that exciting.
I actually almost want to play that game, but I got to read the books first. All right, ready? I think it starts with Peach. You're so cool. Okay, let me try to sing it. All right, this is embarrassing, but I'll do it. I'm happy for a laugh. Peach, You're so cool. And with this start, I'm gonna rule. Peach, understand. I'm gonna love you till the very end. Oh, peaches, 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 peaches. I love you. Wait, I counted it wrong. Oh, and then I think it's like, oh shit, I think it's Mario, Luigi, and Donkey Kong too. 1,000 troops of Koopas couldn't keep me from you. Princess Peach at the end of the line. I'll make you mine. Oh, peaches, 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 peaches. I love you. Oh, peaches, peaches, peaches. All right, I'm going to say, I think I counted 27. Is that an option?
So 22, 19, 27,
27's an option. Okay, I'm going to go 27.
Correct!
That is insane that worked.
All right.
Now, can I give you a background? My kids, because, they've watched the Mario movie, they have that on the Spotify thing. So we have a Spotify playlist. I've got, literally metal songs on it. They've got their songs, and we all listen to each other's songs on rotation. And we've listened to that song so many times. That is funny. That is insane.
That is incredible. I don't care how many more you get incorrect or correct. That
I knew
wins
exactly
you the quiz.
how many features. And without knowing the multiple choice, I just said there's 27 on there.
And also, the question was in the official music video, so the music video could have been longer as well, or extended.
Oh, God.
Wow, okay.
I'm confident now. I'm going to get to 8.
All right, question 4. How many Royal Wonder Seeds are there in Mario Wonder? And the options are 5, 6, 7, or 8. Royal Wonder Seeds.
Oh, this is so embarrassing.
5, 6, 7, or 8.
What I'm trying to remember is, is there one at the end of the game? Because it's there's 6. Shit. I can't remember exactly. I'm going to say 7.
7? Correct.
Yes.
Wow. 4 out of 4 so far.
I only need 4 more out of 13 or something.
Question 5. Metroid Prime Remastered was shadow dropped during which Nintendo Direct in 2023? February, April Indie World, June, or September? February, April.
This is 2023.
2023. June or September? So February, April, Indie World. So April's the only one that has Indie World on it. June or September? I think the way I would look at this is, when did it come out?
Yeah, no, because I played it straight away. It got shadow dropped. So it wasn't September, that's for sure. So what were the options? Sorry, I know you said it 50 times.
February,
Feb.
April
June.
Indie World,
Yeah,
or June.
I really can't recall. Okay, so this is a way that I can rejig my mind. So it got shadow dropped. Then I remember, actually, I was like, I need to get the physical version.
I actually gave you pretty good clue earlier in the show when we were talking about this game.
Yeah, because we reacted to it. Which wasn't, I don't think it was, but that doesn't really help me that much, to be honest. I'm fairly.
How do you get the Peaches one?
No, you know what it is about Metroid Prime Remastered? I ordered it. I was super excited about it, played it, and I beat it really quickly because it's not a long game, and it's sort of that was left there. You know what I mean? It wasn't June. It wasn't June. I don't believe it was June.
So either February or April Indie World.
So what I'm trying to remember is the other thing is when did freaking Tears of the Kingdom come out? I think Tears of the Kingdom was like April, May from memory. So it's either Feb or April, as you're saying.
And April has the words Indie World after it.
My recollection, and I might be wrong, so it's Feb or April. My recollection is it got shadow dropped, and then I had to wait. And for some reason, I feel like it was May or March. Like it's like an M in my head.
I think we had to wait longer
was like a month.
than
Yeah.
other regions.
So I don't think it was May, because I think it would have been like, oh, I got to play this and then I got to play Tears of the Kingdom. Look, I'm going to say Feb.
Feb is correct.
Yes.
Because we did that reaction quite not too long after our last weekly episode.
Yeah, that was our last stream.
All right. Question 6. What was Nintendo's first party release of 2023?
Ooh.
And the options are...
I think I know... Yeah, go on.
Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe.
Oh.
Metroid Prime Remastered.
No.
Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp.
No.
And Fire Emblem Engage.
Look, so the thing is, I know that Fire Emblem Engage came out in January. So that was another game I was going to talk about on the show. I love Fire Emblem Engage. I finished 3 houses and I'm like onto that now. That came out in January, but I don't know when the Kirby Superstars game came out. I have no idea. So I'm going to say Fire Emblem Engage.
Correct.
Yes.
6 out of 6. 6 out of 6. All right, this one's a tough one.
Now there's pressure because I'm on a roll.
This one's a tough one. Which game did not celebrate a big anniversary in 2023? So big means a multiple of 5. So 5th anniversary, 10th anniversary, 15th, etc. And the options are... so it says which game, right?
Like what series?
No, they're specifically saying game here.
Oh.
Because the game... I'll give you the options.
It's going to be Ocarina of Time, but yeah, go on.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Animal Crossing Wild World, Ocarina of Time, and Fire Emblem Awakening. So which game did not celebrate it?
Oh, so you mean even like a Twitter post or anything?
So 3 of these did.
So like Smash Brothers had a 5th anniversary celebration thing, right?
Okay.
So that's off the table.
Yeah.
But now I'm screwed because I don't remember Awakening. Like that was 10th, I think. And what were the other games? Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time and Animal Crossing Wild World.
So Ocarina of Time's 25 years. And then Animal Crossing Wild World. So celebration. I wouldn't call it a celebration, but...
No. Well, it's...
They celebrated. They said something.
I would just assume, look, honestly, like that they had an anniversary. That's the way I assume this question. But I mean, you could take it as celebration.
Can you say the wording of the sentence again?
So the wording from the website is which game did not celebrate a big brackets multiple of 5 anniversary in 2023? Smash Bros. Ultimate, Animal Crossing.
Oh,
Wild
wait.
World.
I'm confused. So this is just saying what game did not come out like either 5, 10, 15, 25.
Yeah.
Okay. So Ocarina of Time was 25. I was thinking about it the other way around. So Smash Brothers and Ocarina of Time, that's 5 and 25.
Yeah.
So Awakening, and then did you say Animal Crossing?
Wild World. I can't remember if that's the Wii one or something else. I can't remember.
I don't even know what that is.
I mean, it's one of the Animal Crossings, whether or not it's a...
Weirdly enough, I thought Awakening came out in 2013.
I have no idea.
It's going to be a pure guess. I'm going to say Animal Crossing Wild Worlds.
Correct.
Whoa! When did Awakening come out? Now I'm interested.
Awakening reached double digits, so 10th anniversary.
Maybe
so you
I
were
got
correct.
that as well.
You were correct.
Damn, I knew it all.
I actually didn't know the answer to that. So
that's crazy.
All right.
I want to hear. This is my pass mark.
Question 8. I can't believe you got them all right so far.
Some of them are hard.
Just goes to show how insane you are. All right. Which of the following was a launch title for the Game Boy Advance Nintendo Switch Online library?
Oh.
So, launch title. So the options are Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga,
No.
Metroid Fusion, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, and Fire Emblem.
Oh, this is so tricky.
I think I know the answer.
I don't think it's Fire Emblem or that. What was the second and third?
Metroid Fusion
Metroid Fusion.
and Kirby and the Amazing Mirror.
I think I'm gonna get unstuck on this one. Okay. I think I eliminated. Sorry, I know I'm being painful. Can you say the answers, the options again?
Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga,
Yep.
Metroid Fusion, Kirby and the Amazing Mirror, and Fire Emblem.
Now, like the only way I'm trying to process this is the first one. I believe like it's either not on it or there was an announcement after it. I don't think it's either on it or it got announced later. I think Fusion actually came out later, I think. And I don't recall any like specific announcement for the Kirby Amazing Mirror thing. And then I'm going to say Kirby.
Incorrect.
Yeah, which one was it?
It was Superstar Saga.
Ah, that was a launch game.
Apparently.
Really?
Yeah. But man, like only one wrong so far. Good effort. Good effort.
I was way off that one. I was way off base with that one.
I was way off. Stamps and I.
Did you know that one?
No. I knew Superstar Saga was on there, but I didn't know when it was.
Oh, okay.
All right. How many Nintendo published titles were released in 2023, excluding DLC?
Oh, that's a lot, dude.
And the options are 10, 12, 15, or 16.
This is just a pure guess because I can't. I unlike the Peaches thing, there's no way that I'm going to be able to get like all of them.
10, 12, 15, or 16 Nintendo published titles.
I'm just thinking,
doesn't say anything about first party. It just says Nintendo published.
No, yeah, and they publish a lot of stuff outside of So yeah, like even we're saying the Kirby game that came out, Fire Emblem, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Wonder, Metroid Prime, Pikmin 4, Mario RPG. It's already 7. Definitely won't be 10, I don't think, because I'm like not even remembering everything. And it's already 7. So like it was either 12, 15, 16.
10, 12. Oh, well, if you want to cancel out 10, then 12, 15, or 16. I don't know the answer to this.
I'm 15.
15? Correct. I can read them out if you care, but...
No.
All right. Question 10. Oh, no, this is one I'm skipping because it was an image one. It was about Tears of the Kingdom. You probably would have got the answer to this, but
Let's say I would have got it.
It's a picture of a bird, and it's like, what is the name of this character? So...
Oh, maybe I wouldn't. No, I know the birds. Yeah, tell me what the option... Why don't you send it to me? Why don't you send it via WhatsApp or
all right. If you want to add this to the
because I don't know if I'll get it. I'm really bad with the names.
If you I can't.
Just take a photo on your phone and send it to me.
No. I'm sending it to you now. Send it to you now.
On Signal or what?
On Signal, yeah. So it says,
cool.
Zelda Tears of the Kingdom introduces us to this beautiful bird, but what is his name?
Oh, I should have skipped this question.
I can give
this is actually hard.
It's multiple choice.
Yeah, multiple choice. Okay.
If I say them right, Teba or Tiba, Hearth,
no,
Pen, or Cass.
It's not Cass. Cass is from Breath of the Wild. I think it's the first one.
Teba? Incorrect. It was Pen.
Pen, yeah. It's from the quest. Yeah, I was not sure if it was Teba or Pen, so I shouldn't have added that into it.
All right.
Two incorrect.
This one's a tough one. Even though we did all our predictions, it's a tough one. Nintendo was the most nominated publisher at the Game Awards 2023, but how many nominations did it receive? And the options are... like similar to the numbers before, 10, 12, 15, and 17.
Really? 10, 12, 15, 17?
Yeah.
Game Awards
nominations. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, so the big category, it got 2. Mario Wonder and Tears of the Kingdom. Action game, Tears of the Kingdom. I don't think there was any others from that. Like RPG. I guess if I think about it a different way, actually. Tears of the Kingdom, what did it get nominated for? It got nominated for Best Action.
Did it get music and stuff like? There's a lot of
there's so many categories.
There's a lot of.
But
I don't know if you're gonna be able to go through them all.
No, but the way I'm trying to do it is go, how many of the games? Then like, is it like then put a buffer on top of it. That's how I did with the other question. It was like, I can easily count to 7 games already. It's going to be way more than 10, 12. So, because the family category, it was like 5. Like 5. I think all 5 were Nintendo games. Or something like that. It was something insane.
They even had strategy.
I think it was 4. Yeah, strategy, 6, 7. Yeah, I think it's going to be more like a middling number, like a 15 again. What were the numbers? 10, 12, 15, 17?
Yep.
I'm going to say 15 again.
Correct.
Oh, good guesses.
You're above the bar. You're now in the distinction.
Distinction.
Territory.
Thank you.
All right. Question 12. In 2023, Nintendo opened a Mario-themed area in 2023 in which Universal theme park?
Japan.
In 2023?
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah. So it had Hollywood, Osaka, Orlando, or Singapore.
Osaka.
Incorrect.
Really?
Hollywood. It says.
Oh, no. So what I'm thinking is the expansion, the Donkey Kong expansion, but that's this year. Sorry. Yeah, that was stupid of me.
They actually say that in here. The
Donkey Kong. Sorry, I'm thinking already this year of the Donkey Kong thing.
Oh, you're slipping.
Now that I got a distinction, I'm just cruising. I'm drinking at the uni bar.
Like me at uni.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. It's been a great. No, you wouldn't have wanted. That's the one I was skipping. It's about the website.
Yeah, F the website. We're stealing their quiz. Don't promote them.
I'll tell you the website afterwards. Question 14. As of Nintendo's latest financial report, November 2023, what is the best-selling game on the Switch? I don't even need to tell you the options.
Mario Deluxe. Oh, sorry, Mario Kart Deluxe.
Yeah, correct.
I think it was Mario Kart, and then it's Animal Crossing. Does it have the list of like 2?
Yeah. Oh, no. So it doesn't tell you. The options were Switch Sport.
That's easy. That's easy.
Yeah. All right, last question. Here's a tough one to finish.
How many have I got wrong?
You've only got 3 wrong. And sorry, you got 2. If you count the bird picture, that's 3.
No, count that one.
All right,
so
3 wrong.
3 out of 14 so far that I got wrong. So I'm at 11. I'm at 11. Is that right? No, 10. 10. I'm at 10.
You're at 10. Yeah. All right. This one's.
I want to get
tough.
11. 11 out of 14 sounds good.
This one's really, really tough, and they even say it. A tough one to finish. How many micro games are in WarioWare Move It?
It's a pure guess.
All right. The options are 86, 174, 223, or 304.
223.
223. Come on. Why is it not working? Click. It's not. All right. I had to click a wrong one to show that 223 was correct.
Ah, that's unreal.
It wouldn't let me select the correct one. 11 out of 14. Well, that's done. You are officially the podcast's biggest Nintendo fanboy. Now officially solidified.
What's 11? 11 divided by 14. What is that? That's past 70. That's a real pass mark.
That was Nintendo Life. That was their quiz.
Oh yeah, I like them.
Yeah, they're good.
Oh, that's almost 80%. Almost a high distinction.
The question I skipped was how many 10 out of 10s they gave out in 2023. So,
can I guess?
If you want to have a shot. So how many 10 out of 10s did Nintendo Life award?
Because Nintendo Life, they love Nintendo. So Mario Wonder and Tears of the Kingdom, I guess they'll just give it 10 out of 10.
All right, I'm going to say the options are 4.
4, I love it.
6.
So many.
6.
Yeah.
8 or 10.
10 out of 10s.
How many 10 out of 10s? And remember, like, they obviously review games that aren't published by Nintendo as well.
Yeah, so I'd say Tears, but they don't do Baldur's Gate 3. They don't do Alan Wake 2. I'm familiar with Nintendo Life. They do Nintendo.
Yeah.
I think they would have done Metroid Prime Remastered, Mario Wonder, Tears of the Kingdom, and then I'm not going to be shocked if it's like some other random game, but I can't see 6. 6 feels a lot. I'm just going to say 4.
Wow, I'm actually very surprised by some of these. All right, so what did you say?
4.
The correct answer is 6.
Really? Come on, guys.
And the
6,
games
10 out of 10s.
The games
Come
they gave 10
on.
out of 10, right? Some of these are wild. In release order were Metroid Prime Remastered.
Yeah, I got that.
This one's a bit annoying. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed.
So I've heard really positive, super positive things
But
about
I'm saying it's annoying because it's DLC.
Yeah,
you know?
that's not a game.
Tears of the Kingdom, Ghost Trick, they gave 10 out of 10. I mean, people like Ghost Trick, but that's surprising.
Yeah.
Quake 2, they gave 10 out
Fuck
of 10.
off.
Great port, awesome port.
But Quake
10
2 is not even a 10 out of 10. And I love Quake 2. I played it when it came out.
And, oh my god, Dodonpachi Daiojo Blissful Death Reincarnation
What?
apparently got a 10 out of 10.
What?
I'm clicking on it now.
If it's more DLC, I'm going to say that shit doesn't count.
No, it's just a game. It's just a bullet hell shooter.
Okay. Oh, wait. I think that was the one that we were talking about.
Yeah, no, we're talking about the Dodonpachi.
So I could imagine that is a 10 out of 10, maybe.
But there's a bunch of Dodonpachi games. So I'm surprised.
Okay.
Like that's such a niche game to give 10 out of 10. It's kind of surprising. But whatever. So they're
was that all the
sure,
6? Was it the 6?
There was 6. So
Wait, did you say Mario Wonder?
Mario Wonder.
Mario Wonder.
Mario Wonder's not in that list.
Mario
So.
Wonder didn't get a 10 out of 10 from them. That is insane. They give fucking... That's... What the hell? Come on, guys.
Quake 2 port officially better than Mario Wonder.
Is that real?
According to Nintendo Life. Review, I'm just trying to see where they do their scores at the end, I guess. 9 out of 10.
9.1. What the fuck? Are they crazy?
Oh.
That's insane to me. Like, given that they gave 6 10 out of 10s for a year.
All right, we stole their quiz. I'm not about to go on this is not a rant cast.
You never go with option A. That's the rule of the game, kids. I thought it was low. I should have went with B.
So well done. You well and truly
Nintendo nerd.
Destroyed that quiz. So.
Nice. All right, well, that was a fun on-demand podcast.
It was great to catch up.
Yeah, we'll catch up again. I know that Mike wants to jump on. I was thinking like the next one, maybe we could do something like, you know, just the year ahead, what we're looking forward to.
Yeah, that sounds good. And whenever like there's any good like directs or any similar stuff, we might do reactions and stuff if there's anything looks like it's cool.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like, let's be real. I don't want to jump the gun on the next episode, but there's going to be the Switch 2 this year. And I'm pumped about that. Like, we are overdue. You know, normally handhelds, they don't last this long, you know, because it is more of a handheld than a console. So it's crazy that it's like year 7 or year 8 or whatever it is now. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be exciting. Elden Ring DLC surely is going to come out this year.
Yeah, it definitely will.
So I'm pumped to talk about that and get back into that game. So there's a few things coming up. And if you guys ever want to wisen up and play Baldur's Gate 3, I'd be keen to play.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Cool. Awesome. All right. With that, bye-bye.
Catch you later.